What up, Homedawgs? My name is Gokey Gamer, and welcome everybody to the NBBL Season 4 Draft League Analysis Team thing for the Milwaukee Medichams, the draft breakdown, all that fun stuff for ya boy. I'm not gonna make this a very long video. It's not gonna be scripted at all, as you can probably tell already. I'm going to be doing minimal edits. I just want to make this video. I'm going to do it as quickly as possible just because I know, like, draft breakdowns, people don't like spending a lot of time on them. So I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to literally just jump straight into it. I'm very excited to talk about this team because I think it is a very great team and I'm excited to give my thoughts on it. So yeah, without any further ado, I'm not even going to keep you all waiting here. Let's go ahead and talk about the team. I also forgot to mention as well, it is hot as heck in here because there is no AC and I don't have the fans running because it is chaos, so there is that. Alrighty, so here is the team. We have got Urshifu, Single Strike, Galarian, Slowking. We got Skarmory, Skeledirge, the Raikou. We've got an Amasterian that can Terra into a Fairy, Flying, or Steel type. We've got Appleton that can Terra into a Grass, Dragon, or Steel type. We've got Excadrill. We got Slacking that can Terra into a Normal, Fighting, or Dark type. We got Vaporeon, and lastly, we have got Volbeat. This is a very interesting team. I'm very excited to try out this team because there's a lot of Pokemon on here that I've wanted to try for a very long time, like a Amasterian, Skeledirge. There's also Pokemon on here that I'm excited to try for the first time, such as Terra Slacking, Raikou, and Volbeat. And there's also, like, old reliables. I've used Excadrill before, I've used Vaporeon before, I've used Urshifu Single Strike before, I've used Skarmory before, so I think this team, weirdly enough, has like a fantastic core. I think they work really, really well together. And yeah, without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and just talk about each Pokemon, what I think about it, and etc. So yeah, first up is Urshifu Single Strike. Now, I was watching Nova's ranking video where he ranked all the teams in the Academy and Main all together. Be sure to check out those videos if you haven't already. I'll link them down below. But in that, when he was ranking my team, he mentioned how he figured, oh, like, because my opponent in Season 3 had Urshifu Single Strike on his team. My Nova was like, oh, he probably grabbed it because he saw something in Travis's team when prepping for it. And to be completely honest, no, actually. It was literally because I wanted to use it, and it was like, I very rarely go into a draft league knowing what Pokemon I want to draft first. The only one is really like Palafin, Chanpao, and Dragapult, but I never grab those because somebody always grabs them before me, so I grabbed Urshifu Single Strike because it was the Pokemon that stood out to me the most out of the, like, top rankings, and I was like, you know what, might as well grab it. At the time, I'd forgotten that I used it in a previous draft league, but I was like, I've never used it before, I'm going to try using it now. I have used it, I just forgot. But yeah, Urshifu Single Strike, Fighting, Dark, Sucker Punch, Adamant, you just nuke things with it, it's great, you don't need an explanation on what Urshifu does because it's just that great. And as a result, I grabbed Galarian Slowking with Urshifu because I figured, you know what, I think Galarian Slowking is going to provide great pivoting with the Chili Reception and Regenerator. I'm also very excited to use Galarian Slowking, especially because I have used regular Slowking in the PUDL, and while that Pokemon has been a bit of a disappointment, which is a whole video for another day, I am very excited to use Galarian Slowking. I think it's going to provide a lot of great control for us. I think it's going to provide a lot of great pivoting control with the Chili Reception and Regenerator and things like that. Oh, by the way, I should probably mention, I think I was like 11th again out of 14, which is insane. I think I also, yeah, it's just weird. I keep getting 11th in Nova's draft leagues. It's very weird. But it's definitely not rigged. But yeah, so I grabbed Urshifu and then I grabbed Galarian Slowking round 2. I'm honestly surprised Galarian Slowking lasted as long as it did, and I'm very glad that I was able to pick it up, because I think Galarian Slowking and Urshifu Single Strike are going to be a really great core into each other. Or like really great core, you guys get it. And round 3, I grabbed an interesting pick. It was a Pokemon that was a lot cheaper in points compared to what people were grabbing at the time, and it was Skarmory. I thought about grabbing Corviknight, but I also already had Corviknight in the PUDL, and I was like, you know what? I don't want it in this league, and I think it also got picked up as well before it got back to me anyway, so I was like, I'm going to grab Skarmory. The big reason I grabbed Skarmory is because of the physical potential, like the physical wall. That's literally what it's built to do. It's built to be a physical wall. And also, it can set up hazards. I think it lost defog, if I remember correctly, so unfortunately we can't defog. But we can set up hazards, we can whirlwind. This gives me a spikes and rocks setter, a reliable one at that, which is absolutely phenomenal for an Urshifu endgame. And I believe like Galarian Slowking gets toxic spikes as well, so that's another great plus to having Galarian Slowking. And yeah, so Galarian Slowking and Skarmory were meant to be walls that help set up hazards, weaken things down, and just provide a lot of chip for Urshifu to come in and endgame sweep. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with the first 3 picks, and I'm very happy with these picks as well. I think they all provide really great potential working together. And yeah, now let's talk about the next 3 picks. So Skeledirge, I'm very excited about Skeledirge. I think it's going to be a really great Pokemon to use. Obviously, Unaware is absolutely phenomenal in any Pokemon. This also gives me a Ghost type early. I have a habit of not drafting Ghost types very early or at all. So I was like, you know what, might as well grab it. Also, this provides me a fantastic special attacker that is not relatively, expensive, and I can just set up Torch Songs for free with Unaware. This gives me a possible special sweeper as well. If there isn't a Pokemon that can take out Skeledirge, it wins the game with Torch Song and Slack Off and Shadow Ball. And yeah, again, it's a very bulky Pokemon, surprisingly, as well. And once again, I think it provides a great, potential with Urshifu, with Galarian Slowking, with Skarmory. I'm very excited to see it pop off because I think it'll do great things. Raikou is another very interesting pick. I never thought I would see the day where I drafted Raikou, but I actually really like Raikou on this team, not just because of the speed tier, but also because of its move coverage, being that it gets Extra Sensory and Scald, along with its electric moves. So there's not going to be very many Pokemon that want to stop this Pokemon from really clicking buttons and things like that. So I'm very excited to use Raikou. I think it's going to be a very interesting pick. It's going to definitely be a pick whether it's going to be I'm either going to love it or hate it, I think, or it's going to be a surprising MVP or a disappointment. It's not going to be really that much in between. So I'm very excited about it. I hope it's going to be an MVP. And I have high hopes for it. And then Enamor's Therian. Enamor's Therian is a Pokemon I've wanted to draft for a very long time now. There's been a few draft leagues where I've almost drafted it and it either got picked before me or I just decided against it in favor of another fairy type. But yeah, I saw this was a 12-pointer. We had 18 points to make for our Terra Captains, 12 points being the highest that you could Terra. So I grabbed a Enamorus and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to click the Terra button. And I decided Terra Fairy, Terra Flying, Terra Steel. I feel like Terra Flying gives it flying coverage because it doesn't really get any flying coverage, unfortunately, despite it being a flying type, which I think is part of the reason why people don't draft it as often. I also grabbed Terra Steel to prevent poison and things like that, and also provides great defensive potentials and things like that. And it's also going to be harder to click a ground move on a Enamor's Therian if I'm not Terra Steel, for example, so, there's that. And then Terra Fairy, because Terra Fairy Draining Kiss nukes things. Need I say more? If you guys have seen my PBA battles, the very first draft league I uploaded on this specific channel, you know how Terra Fairy Draining Kiss can be. I have swept teams, 6-0 teams with Terra Diancie for that reason. So I'm very excited to see that pop off with Enamor's Therian, especially with her stats as well. Really great defenses, really great offenses. The only 2 things that are kind of mid are the HP and the speed. HP is 74, speed, as you can see on that right there, is 46. So, but I do really think Enamor's Therian is going to be a fantastic wall for breaking things down, especially with being a Terra Captain. So even if it doesn't pop off in a game, it will certainly weaken things down enough for Urshifu or Skeledirge to come in and sweep, or even Raikou as well. And following that up is another Terra Captain. I grabbed this one early, pretty early, all things considered. I can't remember if people were starting to reach down to the single digits Terra Captains and things like that, but I really wanted this pick. I grabbed Terra Appleton. Appleton with Terra is just so good, with Thick Fat, obviously, and even Ripen and Gluttony also being able to do things as well. And I can't remember if I've used Appleton before. I think I have in a draft league, but it's Terra Grass, Dragon, and Steel. 2 stabs in Grass and Dragon. Grass can also be a very good defensive typing. Dragon, same thing. And also combined with Thick Fat for both of those typings can be extremely great. And same thing with Terra Steel as well, similar to Enamor's Therian, but also combined with Thick Fat is just really, really a bulky Pokemon. And Terra Steel as well, the only thing that wants to switch in against a Terra Steel Appleton is Terra Fighting. Or not Terra Fighting, but just fighting Pokemon in general. Because even if you want to switch in a ground type, I've got grass moves, you're going to be screwed. So again, I felt like this provided a fantastic breaker as well, a fantastic defense, bulky offensive Pokemon. And again, being able to like nuke things with Terra Dragon or Terra Grass is obviously really, really great as well. And then defensive Terra Steel, also preventing poison too. So there is that as well. So I'm very excited about Appleton as well. Terra Appleton specifically, I think it's going to really pop off. Next up is a very interesting pick. I had a lot of points left over. I knew I was going to grab a 2-pointer for my next Terra Captain. I was like, you know what? I've got a lot of points. I'm going to go ahead and spend them right now. I realized that I needed a spinner or some form of hazard since Skarmory lost Defog. And I saw Excadrill there, and I was like, you know what? Excadrill is a fantastic spinner because, like, it can come in for free on rocks. It takes no damage, basically no damage from rocks. And, like, even, like, spikes, it just rapid spins away very freely. While this team is not extremely weak to rocks or hazards in general, it's with, like, 2 flyers and things like that, I knew I really wanted at least one spinner just so that way I can, like, help heavily discourage hazards from coming on, like, from being shown up on my team. You guys get it, I know how to word. And I realized like Excadrill is like one of the best spinners in the game. Besides like Great Tusk, honestly. I think it is one of the best spinners in the game. Nova, while talking about this team, talked about how I didn't have like a Sandstorm setter, which is true, so like Sand Rush isn't going to be as prominent on this team. And like he talked about how I'm probably going to run Mold Breaker most weeks, which is accurate, but Excadrill does not need sand to be good, in my opinion. And I think on this team, it's really going to show off why that is the case. So I'm very excited about Excadrill. I'm very excited about having, like, one of the best spinners in the game, and I'm very excited to see it hopefully pop off. Next up is a pick that I'm extremely excited about, Terra Slacking. Now, obviously, like, Terra Slacking is worth 2 points, and it's kind of similar to Berserker, where I'm like, I'm surprised that this is worth 2 points with Terra. And we've got Terra Normal, Terra Fighting, Terra Dark. Giga Impact, Terra Normal, Choice Band. What are you gonna do to stop that besides a Ghost type? Nothing. Like, even Steel types are not going to enjoy taking a Choice Banded Giga Impact from a Slacking. And obviously, like, Truant is not a great ability, but this also gives me a base 100 Pokemon, which is the only Pokemon besides Raikou that is in the triple digits in the speed tiers, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but I think Slacking is just going to really pop off. Terra Normal, need I say more? Terra Fighting and Terra Dark are there for coverage as well. Terra Fighting for Rock and Steel types, Terra Dark for Ghost types. I think Slacking is just really going to come in, claim lives, and just win games for us whenever it comes. Even despite Truant. Like, there's no reason for me not to run Giga Impact, you know? Like, I can just run Giga Impact, and, like, you know, it just wins games. So I'm also very excited about that. I'm hoping it pops off as well. And this leaves me with 12 points in the draft, so the last 2 picks I grabbed were Vaporeon and Volbeat. So Vaporeon, I needed a bulky water type. Like, I have no water type at this point. I have my grass type, I have my fire type, I need a water type. Grabbed Vaporeon with Flip Turn, high HP, Wish Passing potential. Like, it just really made sense on this team. The pivoting, like, I could Wish Pass into Urshifu, Wish Pass into Raikou, Wish Pass into Excadrill, Wish Pass into Slacking. Like, they're, like, just, it's a great chipper, and I think it's just going to really provide great, like, coverage against my opponents, and I think it's just going to really pop off in general. I'm very excited to see it just put in work against my opponents. And now Volbeat! Volbeat is a very interesting one. I had 2 points left, so I needed to grab another 2-pointer. I grabbed Volbeat not just because I didn't have a bug type on the team, but also because Prankster. Volbeat's ability is Prankster. That is, or like hidden ability is Prankster. It gets Illuminate and Swarm normally, and then Prankster is a hidden ability. And I'm very excited to see it pop off because Prankster is a very overpowered ability. Nova said, like, I probably wouldn't bring Volbeat ever, or unless it was, like, a week where, like, I was in guaranteed playoffs, blah, blah, blah. And I can say, with confirmation, that Volbeat will be showing up during the regular season, at least most likely a couple of times. I was looking into the matchups, and I've already seen, like, a couple of games where Volbeat can really pop off, either benefiting or, like, helping support, or even just being a hyper-offensive sweeper. So I think people are going to severely underestimate Volbeat, and I'm very excited to see it pop off. I already have a number of ideas for what I want to do with Volbeat in general on this team, and I think it's going to be a really great Pokemon. So yeah, that is the entire team for the Milwaukee Medichams Season 4 of the NBBL. Now, spoilers, slight spoilers for my team ranking, specifically in Nova's video. I ranked the very top of B tier, almost in the low A, but not quite. I was originally low A, and then I got bumped down to high, like the top of B. I think that is like, personally, I would rank this team as definitely, like, probably a mid-A team is what I would rank it. I think people are going to severely underestimate this team. I think people are going to have a very hard time prepping for this team. I think people are going to underestimate certain Pokemon on this team that will come in and all of a sudden just claim lives. And I think this team is so well built around, like, Pokemon like Urshifu, like Skeledirge, like even Slacking, for example, or Nanamorous Therian. And I think this team is going to really prove to my opponents just how powerful it can be. There are a couple of downsides. I don't have, like, a notable heavy-hitting special attacker. I think one of my highest is Nanamorous Therian, which most of the time is going to be a decently bulky set anyways, and Raikou, which can hit pretty decently hard, but I have yet to see it, like, sweep teams because it's pure special attack, you know, kind of thing. And then obviously Skeledirge as well, but even then you need to, like, let off a Torch Song or two to really do damage. So that's a little bit of a weakness. And then also my speed tier as well. My fastest Pokemon being Raikou at base 115 is not the most ideal, and then my second fastest being base 100 is also not ideal, but I do have great speed tiers below that, and I think with this team I have enough bulk in general to where I can just outbulk a lot of faster Pokemon, and I'll be able to win games that way. Again, like, I don't think it's an S tier team, personally, but I do really like this team. I really like how it turned out, and I do think top of B is a little bit, like, underestimating this team, in my opinion. I think it's mid-A. But then again, like, no shade or anything like that. I don't want people to take that the wrong way. I think what Nova's ranking was very fair, and also, like, there are also a lot of really good teams that ranked above me, so that makes sense. But I do think this is a mid-A tier team. I think this team has a very good chance of making it and winning finals. I honestly think this team has a better chance of winning finals compared to my Season 3 team. And my Season 3 team was runner-up. So I think this team has a very good chance of winning the finals for me and giving me my first championship title, unless, like, the SDA happens there first. But yeah, I'm very excited about this team. I think this team is going to provide a lot of great fun for me, especially in terms of prepping. I already see so much potential in prepping, like, with this team against certain teams. I'm very excited to actually get into the team building process. Spoiler alert, I actually have already, because I'm leaving for my trip to see my family in less than a week. So I've already prepped a couple of teams, and needless to say, I am very excited to use both Pokemon teams. I'm so excited. But yes, that is the team. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please let me know what you guys think down in the description below of my team. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you dislike. Let me know if there's anything you noticed that I did not talk about on this team. And, like, all that stuff. And, yeah, I'm very excited to use this team. I think it's going to provide a lot of work. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys are also most excited to see on this team as well. Also, please be sure to check out my Patreon, or not my Patreon, I don't know why I said Patreon, Ko-Fi. Please be sure to check out my Ko-Fi down in the description below. You'll get videos early from me, including this one. If you are on Ko-Fi by this point, you've probably seen this video early, so please be sure to check that out and show me some love on there. And I'm hoping to get a new laptop relatively soon, so yeah. Oh, also before I forget, this series, at least until the SDA ends, will be uploaded on Saturdays. The remaining PUDL games will be uploaded on Friday. If there are any games by this point, I don't know. This will be uploaded on Saturday. SDA will be uploaded on Sundays until SDA ends, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Peace out, mates!